Welcome to This Explainer. Today we're diving into something pretty fascinating, the engineering and the strategic evolution of the automated teller machine. Now, we interact with them all the time, right? But most of us just see this, metal box that spits out cash. Today we're going to look right past that exterior and explore how these machines have transformed from super simple mechanical dispensers into hyper-connected, AI-driven digital banking hubs.
But to really understand where we're going, we kind of have to look at where we started. And the origin story is actually amazing. So picture this. How did a thought in a bathtub totally change finance? Well, back in 1967, this British inventor named John Shepherd Barron was quite literally soaking in the tub when he had this absolute epiphany. He just wondered, if a vending machine can dispense candy bars, why couldn't we engineer one to securely hand out cash?
And that one single incredibly practical idea, it sparked an absolute revolution. Today, that little bathtub brainstorm has exploded into a sprawling global network of 2.9 million ATMs, basically almost 3 million autonomous bank vaults sitting out in the wild. They've become the absolute most used method for consumers to physically interact with their banks all over the world. Looking at the timeline, the sheer speed of this is wild. We've got the very first deployment in London in 1967. By '69, the tech jumped the Atlantic for its first U.S. rollout at a chemical bank in New York. Fast forward to the 1980s, and we start seeing color displays and actual functional keys. And that brings us to the modern era, where these aren't just standalone boxes anymore, they are highly connected, cloud-native powerhouses.
All right, Section 1, inside the modern cash factory.
Let's actually look under the hood to see the mechanical and digital choreography happening during a withdrawal, because it is intense. Every transaction follows this precise millisecond by millisecond path. Step 1, data capture. The machine reads your credentials. Step 2, cryptographic tokenization, which is safely verifying who you are with the bank's servers. Step 3 involves some seriously complex, high-friction robotics, often using cash recycling mechanisms to physically gather your money. And Step 4 is the dispense. And behind the scenes, this instantly triggers a massive web of back-end reconciliation, settlement, and scheme clearing protocols. It's this incredible dance of legacy hardware and cutting-edge software, making sure you get exactly the right amount of cash. The user experience has completely transformed too. I mean, we are officially leaving behind the days of those clunky physical buttons, magnetic stripes, and faded thermal receipts. The modern ATM feels way more like your smartphone. We're talking contactless NFC, cardless access, edge-to-edge touchscreens where you can pinch and zoom, and even the ability to pre-stage your entire withdrawal on your phone before you even walk up to the machine. Now, a massive leap forward in all this logistics is cash recycling. Instead of a machine just swallowing your deposit into one bin and spitting out cash from a completely different one, cash recycling tech accepts the deposited cash, authenticates it on the spot, and then instantly redispenses those exact same notes to the very next customer. For banks, this is a total game changer. It optimizes their liquidity, drastically cuts down on the costs of physically moving cash around, and it significantly reduces machine downtime. But to pull all this off, engineers had a huge problem. How do you teach an old machine new tricks? Well, they did it through cloud-native upgrades. By decoupling the decades-old proprietary software from the actual physical hardware, they essentially ripped out the old guts and dropped a brand new, highly responsive cloud-native engine into these steel boxes. This gives us remote cloud monitoring, way faster feature rollouts, and seamless API integration right with your mobile banking apps. Moving on to Section 2, securing the digital fortress. Because these machines hold literal billions of dollars globally, they are fighting a constant, invisible war against cyber threats. To combat these highly sophisticated attacks, modern ATMs deploy an absolute arsenal of countermeasures. To fight card skimming, where bad actors steal data right off the magnetic stripe, banks are heavily pushing NFC and contactless taps. To prevent jackpotting, which is this crazy physical and digital hack that forces the machine to just spit out all its cash, providers are using AI-driven monitoring to instantly spot anomalies. And to fight social engineering, we're seeing a huge rise in multi-factor authentication and biometrics. At the very heart of this digital security is tokenization. Basically, it replaces your sensitive card data with single-use cryptographic tokens. That means your actual account info, your name, your real card number, they are never actually exposed during the transaction. Instead, they're swapped out for a unique, scrambled code.
So even if a hacker manages to intercept it, that token is utterly 100% useless to them for any future hacks.
And the security perimeter is expanding into the physical world too, with multi-factor biometric authentication. We are seeing ATMs rolling out with facial recognition, fingerprint scanners, and even these incredibly sci-fi finger vein readers. On top of the hardware, AI behavioral analysis is running constantly in the background to instantly flag anything suspicious. If a transaction just doesn't match your normal habits, the system knows immediately and shuts it down.
Section 3. The strategic case for ATMaaS. As you can imagine, managing this sprawling, high-tech infrastructure is a massive undertaking. So for bank executives trying to decide between owning the hardware versus outsourcing it, there's a really compelling strategic shift happening toward ATM as a service, or ATMaaS. By handing over operations to specialized providers, financial institutions are reporting operational cost savings of up to 30%. 30%. That is a staggering reduction in overhead. This model is literally flipping the script for the industry. ATMaaS shifts all that heavy capital expenditure over into predictable operational costs. It guarantees that complex regulatory compliance, daily reconciliation, and scheme clearing are all handled by specialized experts. Plus, it uses AI for remote predictive maintenance, meaning they fix machines before they even break, and it lets banks effortlessly scale up or down. Ultimately, it frees banks up to focus entirely on their core services, rather than, managing a fleet of hardware.
And maintaining that hardware uptime is absolutely crucial. Get this, while 58% of transactions are on us, meaning you're using an ATM owned by your own bank, a massive 42% are off-us transactions, happening at third-party or out-of-network ATMs. It really highlights just how interconnected the whole global cash access ecosystem is, and why relying on outsourced reliability is so incredibly vital.
Which brings us to Section 4, Phygital banking and the future.
So, physical bank branches are closing pretty rapidly all over the globe to save costs. But instead of fading away, the ATM is actually stepping up to become the ultimate bridge for financial inclusion. We call this the Phygital frontier. It's the seamless integration of physical financial services with digital banking experiences. The ATM acts as the conduit. It's not just handing out 20s anymore, it's supporting digital onboarding, offering live video teller assistance, and acting as a critical lifeline for rural communities and the underbanked who still heavily rely on physical cash.
Looking ahead, these Phygital hubs are going to be wild. We're talking about AI that not only predicts when a part might fail, but actually offers you hyper-personalized financial advice while you stand there. We're going to see touchless 3D holographic projections entirely replacing physical screens so they can't be tampered with, adding multilingual voice assistance and the ability to instantly print an active, highly secure debit card right from the machine in under 3 minutes. It's incredible.
So the big takeaway here, the absolute core of this whole explainer is this. The future of the ATM may have less to do with cash and way more to do with customer experience. This 1960s invention is definitely not obsolete. It is just shedding its old skin to become this fully interactive, digital-first banking agent. As we wrap up and you think about this wild evolution, I want to leave you with one final thought. As the line between the physical and digital world completely blurs, how will holographic interfaces and AI redefine your own relationship with physical cash? Next time you walk up to an ATM, take a closer look because you are interacting with the very cutting edge of the global financial system. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and keep learning.